This is lesson 13 in our study of Proverbs 31. This woman named Moxy is a force of character, determination, courage, and nerve. And there's only one word we need for her this week, and it's called fearless. Looking back at last week, did you get your hands a little dirty? It's what good warriors do. And were you a blessing? Did you seek out people in need? Did you meet some of those needs? It is truly what we are called to do. Lesson 13, fearless. And the verse says this: She fears not for her household for the snow, for all her household are dressed in crimson. Can you just stop at the very beginning? At those 3 words, she fears not. Fear is driving our current world. We are paralyzed by it, consumed by it. We are drugged up in hopes to ignore it, and we're physically sick because of it. It controls our lives. Now, we've already said that perfect love casts out all fear. Love is fear's exact opposite. And you put 2 magnets together and they're going to repel each other. Put love and fear together and one is repelled. But unlike the magnets that are equally moved apart, we are the ones that get to decide. We get to choose if it's love or it's fear that we're going to hold on to. And we have to be able to accept love. We have to be able to accept perfect love, and that only comes from God. And it doesn't matter how much we think we love Him or show our love for Him by doing good things for others. That love does not conquer fear. That love is our effort, and when it's tested, it's most likely going to crumble. The other thing we need to accept is the fact that there is nothing that we can do that will ever make God love us more or less. It's not up to us, that's up to Him, and His love is unconditional. It's equal to all, and it is the only weapon that we have against fear. Now there are 3 verses that I love to connect, to put them together, and when I do so, they create what I call the protective bubble. The first verse comes from Jeremiah, and it's Jeremiah 29:11, and it says this: For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. What this verse doesn't say is, I'm going to tell you all the plans I have for you. God has plans for each of us, but unlike He did for Noah, He doesn't let most of us in on them. He doesn't tell us them in advance. Imagine if He did. What would be our first impulse? Would we run and tell somebody? Would we argue with Him if we didn't like what He had planned for us? Would we try to change His mind? I'm thinking we're probably going to do all 3. The second verse in my protective bubble comes from Isaiah, and it's Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against you will prosper, and every tongue that accuses you in judgment you will condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication is from me, declares the Lord. Now again, this verse doesn't say that no weapon will ever be formed against me, or that no tongue will ever accuse me. We can be certain that both weapons and words will attack us sometime in our life. Bad things, unpleasant things, hurtful things are going to happen to us. The promise is that neither those weapons nor those words are going to succeed. They're not going to be successful. They won't prosper. And it's not easy to remember this when they're in the middle of it. In the beginning or the middle or the end, it doesn't matter where we are in the, oh, my life is falling apart mode. It's not easy to grasp, and it's not easy to understand. However, if we can grasp this promise, it defines contentment. The third verse in my bubble comes from Romans. It's Romans 8:28, and we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those that love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Now, really bad theology would take these 3 verses to mean that nothing bad will ever happen. Life is going to be one big party. I get everything that I want. It's all going to be picture perfect all the time. But again, That would be bad theology that would say that. The protective bubble says this: God has a plan for me, and I need to trust him. Weapons and accusations will cross my path. Bad things will most definitely happen, but it won't last. God will redeem it all and work it out for my good. And if you want to read between the lines a little, this bubble of protection also says this: you can't screw up my life. You may interrupt it, you may make it a little uncomfortable, but in the end, if I remain true to this belief, it's going to work out in my favor. And for anyone who's experienced abuse in their life, this is an inconceivable concept. I think that even in the worst cases, this bubble of protection holds true. Because of God's great love, he will not let abusers prosper. He will weave every experience into the tapestry that is your life and will at the end make it all good. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know and I believe that he is. He still has a plan for you. And it isn't out of his neglect that abuse happens. It's out of his love that he redeems it all. So our past, our present, and our future, it's all covered. It's all guaranteed for those called according to his purpose. Now, what is his purpose again? Ah, yes, I remember. To love the Lord my God with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength, and to love my neighbor as myself. It is a beautiful, it is a wonderful, it is a lovely bubble. And it protects us through our entire life. It takes our past, it keeps us in our present, and it is a guide to our future. It is the protective bubble. Back to our verse. She fears not for her household for the snow, for all her household are dressed in crimson. The rest of this verse simply states that she is prepared, and once again we see her life is in order. She isn't caught off guard because winter has arrived and she wasn't ready. She knew it comes every year. She knows that it comes just about the same time. And the hats and the boots and the mittens, the winter coats are neatly piled in the front closet, waiting for the snow to fall. She's prepared, she's organized, she's ready, but most of all, she is not afraid. So the prayer that I leave with you this week is this: Father God, help us to be fearless women. Show us the areas of our lives where we have not accepted your love. Nudge us when we do things that are an attempt to make you love us more. And thank you for your unconditional love. It is beyond our understanding. Thank you for accepting us for who we are right at this very moment. And help us to never forget that it's your perfect love that casts out all our fears. This is the most important garment in Moxy's wardrobe. She has it with her at all times. It is bold and it is gentle. It is soft and it is vibrant. A fearless life is a rare one, but it is a possible one. And we are getting closer and closer to it as we become women clothed in strength and dignity, and who can laugh without fear of the future. A fearless life, it's my goal, and I hope that it's yours as well. So in our next lesson, lesson 14, we're going to take a look around our bedrooms.